Hey everybody, it's Carol Billing and I'm your instructor for Education 201, the online version of this course. And I wanted to go through a quick review of the course calendar. I've spent a lot of time trying to keep this course calendar simple. Let me just change one thing real quick because that'll take some of the clutter off. I have all the deadlines set to Monday at 5, and I do that so that if you have a crisis at 4, hopefully I can give you a hand. If you work on Mondays all day though, then you'll need to set your own deadline of Sunday midnight Sunday before. But I have mine set to Monday at 5 o'clock. That's the latest for each one of these items. And so each row is a week, except this first two, that's your first week. Both of those rows are for your first week. I have the date, the week I'm talking about, as well as opening it the Friday prior to that week, the corresponding chapter in the book, and then a list of the tasks you need to complete in Blackboard. So basically you will just go down this list and check off each one of these items, and when you do it in Blackboard and you check it off, then you know that you've done everything for that week that's due on this Monday at 5 o'clock. So that's kind of how the calendar is laid out. I have highlighted the journals here in this sort of mauve color, brown color, and they are all part of your ABE. So we break the ABE down into 5 journals with individual prompts, and then you start putting it together here. You run it through the online writing lab, your draft. So you post your draft both to a discussion board for peer review, as well as you'll want to send it to the online writing lab at the same time. You get extra credit for responding to your peers' draft ABE and giving them some constructive criticism. And then the final ABE is due on the April 21st, and that's with a copy of the edited version from the online writing lab. So you may not skip the online writing lab step. You have to take your draft and have it reviewed by the online writing lab, and you can either do that in person or you can send it to them through email. But you have to give them enough time to get it done in order to get that copy back, implement the changes into your final ABE, and then post it on the 21st. So keep that in mind. And that's why there's a good bit of time here between these two deadlines. Your draft is here, get it through the online writing lab, review other people's, and then you have a week to put it all together. Okay, so that's one big project in the class, is the ABE, which is short for autobiographical essay. The nice thing about the autobiographical essay is there's not any research online that you have to do to complete it. You're going to pull from your memory and your thoughts on your history and how your history has prepared you to become a teacher. So it's actually a really fun and reflective project. Okay, we have small tasks that align with each one of the topics in the chapter, as well as a chapter exam each week. Now down here also I have in blue any assignment that's related to your teaching presentation. And so I'll have a folder that explains that project specifically. I also have another folder for your ABE under the assignments in Blackboard. But just so you kind of, when you look at your calendar, you realize, oh, this is about my teaching presentation. So the first thing you'll do is come up with your topic idea, and you will teach something. Like I would probably pick a standard first, or a subject. Okay, I want to do 4th grade. I want to do math in 4th grade. And then you want to narrow it down and start either talking to 4th grade math teachers about specific lessons they do, or look in the standards and pick a standard that you want to focus on. So for, say, example, 2nd grade, I want to do tens and ones and 100 placings in math. That's what I want to teach. I'm going to teach one lesson on that. And your lesson for this class is going to be about 20 minutes. So you're not going to teach the history of place value, but you will introduce a concept and give the students a task to reinforce what you've taught, and then you will have some sort of assessment at the end of the 20 minutes to evaluate, did they learn what I was trying to teach? So 3 main parts to it. Teaching something, giving them a project, giving them assessment to see if they've learned it. Okay. The added benefit to this presentation is that you're taking an online class, which means you have to do this all in an asynchronous online environment. So a little bit different than our face-to-face Education 201 class, but still it's very fun, and I think you'll find there are some things you can do online that you can't do in a face-to-face class. For example, you may want to have a 5-minute quiz at the end of your presentation, and so you can do that in an online class and have a link to SurveyMonkey. And then the student, your peer, replies back with how they did on the quiz, or you could go to SurveyMonkey and see how they did on the quiz. So you've got some cool features to taking it online. All right, so you first come up with your topic, then we're going to work on a draft lesson plan and a draft Prezi or a PowerPoint. You have to have some sort of visual aid. You're going to post those, and I give you a week here where there's no other assignments but to review each other's lesson plans and PowerPoints. And I do that on purpose. Part of being a good teacher is realizing the 7th week of this semester, my students are tired. They're taking a lot of midterms. I don't give a midterm. So I'm going to give you this week, which is, I'm not going to say it's an easy week in our class, but it's a week that allows you to catch your breath and to focus on your lesson plan and your PowerPoint, look and see what other people are doing and improve yours, and look back at the first 6 chapters, see if there's anything else you want to review, look at again, that kind of stuff. And then we get set and we hit it again and go through the rest of the chapter 7 through 15. All right, so you have your lesson plan in your draft. Then you're going to record your lesson plan or put all your elements together and get it ready. And you actually submit it down here in your discussion board. So you have your draft done in the middle of March, and your actual teaching presentation is not due until the beginning of May. That's a really long time, so I will open this discussion board early so you could submit it a little bit early if you'd like. The last 2 weeks of class, you do your chapter work, plus you start watching teaching presentations. So you are required to watch 4 teaching presentations of your peers in your class, do whatever project they have in their lesson, and respond back in the discussion board. Minimum of 4, you can do a maximum, well, you can do as many as you want, but I give extra credit up to 6 total. So 2, you can do 2 extra ones for extra credit, which is kind of nice. Okay, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think that's it. All right, I'm looking forward to working with you all online, and I'll see you soon.